Here we can see a farmer who's carrying in the hay, which will be used to feed the cattle this winter. He's actually standing and working on the site of the former Nazi concentration camp of Majdanek, which is just behind me now. We can see that the town has reached the very border of the camp, and people living in those flats in front have a view of it. The 6 fields which are here, plus another one which was also on this site where the car park is now and where the farm is working, were once the home to many thousands of poor people who lived a few days or weeks on this site. Only one field still has the barracks. Most of the barracks were destroyed after the war. The camp was liberated from the Nazis in June 1944, but it was then used by the NKVD as a camp to house those opposed to the new socialist regime. It would also seem that there was a certain amount of German prisoners of war also kept here at that time. Now the city is really close today, but it was also close then, and now we have this rather horrible looking mausoleum which is behind me, but going a little bit further down we see the city again, and behind this mausoleum is the area where in the Enterfest massacre of the 3rd and 4th of November 1943 between 17 and 20,000 Jewish people were murdered by shooting on this spot. And what we know is that during this shooting people were actually watching it from the houses below. This massacre took place because after the breakout at the Sobibor death camp on the 14th of October 1943, Himmler ordered the deaths of all Jews still remaining in the Lublin area, and very, very few actually survived. Those that survived within the camp were those who are actually hiding under false papers. We have a memorial which has been put up here quite recently to this massacre. On the 3rd of November 1943, 18,400 Jews, prisoners of Majdanek and labour camps in Lublin area were executed on this site. And approximately 42,000 Jews were murdered in the Lublin district on the 3rd and 4th of November 1943 during Operation Enterfest by German police units at Majdanek, Travniki and Poniatowa. Now Travniki and Poniatowa are labour camps close to here. Poniatowa has largely survived intact. The Travniki can still in parts be seen, and this is the area where the shootings took place. Now what we know was that people were housed in the fields around approximately where in front of the camera now, 6th field. An SS NCO made a hole in the fence using wire cutters, and people were brought out and they were shot. Trials which are held in Germany in the 1960s showed that those responsible largely couldn't remember, and probably this is absolutely true. They couldn't remember. It wasn't a couldn't remember because they didn't want to remember. They couldn't remember because they were drunk at the times of the shooting. This is something which happened quite often, particularly where Ukrainians were involved. There was so much alcohol that they didn't know what they were doing. This of course meant that they weren't actually killing people. They could be actually wounding them, as happened in places such as Wukov. Here we have a building which was used as a crematorium, and is once thought to have been a gas chamber, although today it would seem that this was not used ever as a gas chamber at all. Now, the idea of a gas chamber often is that the Nazis could use any room, as a provisional place, as they did in the underground areas of Auschwitz, for example. On entering barrack. Here we have a, hope this comes out, a dissecting table, which may have been used for looking for valuables. May have had other uses as well. A room once believed to have been a gas chamber, but unlikely to have been so. Coming through here, we come to the area where the cremated bodies were stored, the Leichenkeller, and here we have the ovens which were used to destroy the bodies, as well as next door we have a cold store. This crematorium would have been built in late 1943. The fuel used would have been coke, and the storage of the coke is right next door to it, which would have been brought here by lorries. We have here today a group which appears to be from Germany, so I won't disturb. The room here was used as a fuel store for the crematoria, which are in this room. Materials for killing people. Destroying the bodies, I mean, sorry. I will now film slightly what this lady's saying in German.
Solche Temperatur verbrennt weiche Gewebeteile. Aber größere Knochen, deswegen auch, brauchten die SS-Männer von Majdanek eine extra Mühle, um die großen Knochenteile zu zermahlen. Die zermahlenen Knochen sowie auch die Asche aus diesen Öfen wurde genutzt zur Düngung der Ackerfelder in Majdan. Während des Auschwitzer Prozesses 1948 hat man den Erich Musselt eine Frage gestellt: Wie viele Leichen konnte man pro Tag in diesen 5 Öfen verbrennen? Der hat spontan geantwortet 1000. Diese Zahl steht jetzt überall. Sie gehören zu uns?
Ah, ja.
Ja?